To everyone responsible for shaping the future of streaming, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your incredibly busy day to watch this. I'd like to begin with a scene you're probably very familiar with. Let me set the scene. Saturday morning and you have some time to kill before you have to go into work. And so you think, yeah, let me just start watching something really quickly, and you start scrolling. In 5 minutes, in 10, 15, 20 minutes of scrolling, and yeah, you watched like 20 trailers, added like 4 films to your watch list, and almost watched that Oscar-winning drama, but really? In the end, you're just gonna watch The Office again? Come on. It might just be a funny anecdote, but I think it reveals a crippling issues with most streaming platforms. It's a problem that could cripple your very empire. Your platforms have become incredibly good at giving audiences choices. So good, in fact, that it's become a major selling point and a major part of the whole experience. 20 years ago, the biggest challenge was finding films and finding an accessible way to watch them. But today, the challenge is finding something that, really, we'll actually remember in a couple of days. To put this simply, how do you keep streaming successful without unintentionally weakening the filmmaking ecosystem that makes streaming valuable in the first place? Now, before I go to discuss some of the current shortcomings affecting streamers, I really want to recognize a lot of good streamers have done. Your companies have truly changed entertainment forever. Millions of people now have almost instant access to films, and that's amazing. Independent filmmakers, they can reach their audiences in new ways that they never could have through traditional distribution methods alone. International cinema, I think, has truly blown up and just become much more accessible than ever. Your families, they can watch the classics together, and students like me can discover classic films and study them. People with disabilities or who live far away from theaters, they can still get the same stories from the comfort of their home. These accomplishments, they really deserve recognition. This is not an argument against streaming. It's an argument for protecting what truly made streaming so popular in the first place. Because I think streaming's greatest strength has never been its technology, but truly it's the stories that technology can still deliver to you. Convenience is one of your industry's greatest assets, I feel like, but ironically, I think it's also one of its greatest challenges. Now, every film you release on your platform has to immediately compete with thousands of others sitting just only a few clicks away. This is going to create an enormous amount of pressure on your film. Your subscribers are going to be expecting something new every week to satisfy their needs. So that means your studios are going to be producing more and more content, and with your algorithm outfeeding more and more content, your library is just going to expand exponentially. But somehow, your audiences are still going to say that there's nothing to watch. The issue is not your quantity, it's your memorability. Many streaming originals, they're going to require years of work from thousands of artists, yet they disappear from public conversations only a few weeks after release because, well, the next title's arrived and public zeitgeist has moved on. That's not because the film failed. It might have been a good feature, but it's because the content cycle rarely slows down long enough for audiences to truly connect with you, your stories, and your characters. Data is a powerful tool, but creativity is essential. As executives, I'm sure you rely on data every single day, and you know what? You should. Audience insights can help reduce your financial risk, and recommendation systems, they can help viewers discover films that they might otherwise have never found. Analytics can help reveal viewing habits that previous generations of filmmakers could really only guess. You know what? Those tools are extraordinary. Data works best when it is supporting creativity, not when it replaces it. History reminds us that many of cinema's most influential films weren't obvious business decisions before they were released originally to the public. Innovation rarely look safe at the beginning, and original storytelling is often asking audiences to experience something that they've never seen before on a screen. Algorithms can recognize these patterns, but your artists, they're the ones creating the patterns. The future of streaming needs both to coincide. I'd also really like to encourage you to think about the role that movie theaters can continue to play in your industry's success. Recent surveys show that most Americans are now choosing to watch new movies at home. That trend makes perfect business sense, I think. Really, streaming is not only convenient, but it's affordable, flexible. But theaters create something streaming just cannot fully replicate. They create moments. Think about just Star Wars in the Chinese theater, an opening night, a packed auditorium, complete strangers laughing together, holding their breath, crying, and the suspense that you can just feel, and everybody rising in applause as the movie ends. Nobody's gonna pause the movie. Nobody's checking their emails, folding laundry halfway through the climax of the film. No, for 2 hours, everyone's attention belongs to the silver screen. Those experiences, they can create lifelong fans. They create conversation, they create anticipation. And when those films eventually arrive on your platform, audiences aren't discovering them for the first time, but they're rewatching them over and over, continuing to experience that they've already had at the silver screen. The theaters and streaming, they cannot be competitors, but they must be partners. One can create your cultural momentum, while the other expands it. So, where do we go from here? I want to leave you with 4 recommendations from me. Just one. Just please continue investing in theatrical releases for films that deserve to become cultural events, and give original films enough time to build an audience before they're buried beneath the next wave of releases. 3. Continue using audience data, but allow creativity to lead the conversation. And finally, measure success by more than just immediate engagement. Ask whether audience still remember a film 6 months later. Ask whether they're still recommending it to their friends from word of mouth. Ask if the characters are still iconic, whether it's changed the conversation around cinema. Those are difficult metrics to measure, but they're also the ones that build enduring brands. Okay, just streaming transformed how the world watches movies. Point blank. That achievement is already part of history, but now comes the next challenge that we have. We have to protect the creativity that made audiences fall in love with movies in the first place. Your greatest competitive advantage is not your interface or your algorithm. It isn't your recommendation engine. It is not even your content library. As much money have you paid to have Office on your site. It's your ability to deliver stories that people carry with them long after the credits roll. Technology brought audiences to your platform, but it's your creativity that will keep them coming back. Thank you.